Anyway, people, human beings, the people who you need to interact with, they want to know that they're one in a million, not number 300,291. Marketers need to know more about their online audience than current technology can provide. Reports are necessary to tell marketers what to do in order to improve ROI. You can't spend money hit or miss fashion. You have to be accountable. Web analytics are really tools for the technologists, not for the marketer. Anybody want to disagree with that? Okay, good. That other hands are staying down. So we need new measures and new tools. But we all know that when you need something new, but all you have is the old technology to provide it, what do? You give it a new name. Right? In this case, we call it behavioral analytics, behavioral marketing, marketing analytics, consumer-based analytics, whatever we call it, a new metric needs to be created. And in many cases, as many of you have learned, each time the emperor gets a new set of clothes, you end up paying for it. How many of you have the exact same web analytics package now that you had when you started? Unless it was something given to you by your hosting company. How long has you had a website? Well, I don't know. So it's the same. It's the same one? Marketers need new tools to help them identify and attract a more savvy audience. The audience has learned not to look at banners. I really feel bad about saying this considering what was said at a previous breakout session. But everybody knows who eMarketer is? Jeff Rush, the CEO of eMarketer, at a recent meeting up in Boston. We led a panel discussion, and there were two search engine companies, a new media company, and a web design firm on the panel. And the thrust of the message was, banner ads are gone. Because people who cruise the web have been trained no longer to pay attention to them. Right? You've seen so many of them. That thing comes up, you're gone. It's, The other thing that came out was, from the search engine companies, search engine optimization, as it is known, is dead. Sorry to my hosts, but network computing in 2004 stated, if you don't give people what they want within a few clicks, they will go elsewhere. NextStage's research has shown that you have 3 to 5 clicks to sell your product, describe your service, call it what you want. You have 3 to 5 clicks to get them where they want to go, so you can get them to do what you want. The direct route is always the better. And when we know this, it's very simple. Does anybody here flew here? Anybody in this room flew to this meeting? Did you intentionally get the plane flight that had 20 layovers? The direct route is the best route. The existing methods are called the rear view mirror approach to analytics. Amazon determines that you should purchase based on a transaction history. Cookbook example is apt. If you buy a cookbook, that doesn't mean you cook. It could be the friend of a cook. Businesses need better information to manage change, and current web analytics only deal with what was, not what is. The website audience is making decisions in the now and are being influenced by what's happening to them now, just as you all are. You're being influenced by what is going on in this room now. You're correlating it to what happened in the past. That's how people make decisions, right? Okay? Unless it's something you've never seen before, okay? You will rely on information you're gathering at this instant matched against information you had in the past. And if something is so strangely new, so completely unique in your life that you have never encountered it before, you will go into what is called a fugue state. You will momentarily lock. Trying to, your brain's going nuts. It's doing what's called a transderivational search.
A little piece of that was, oh, maybe it's over here. Okay, maybe I'll put it there. It looks like Aunt Sally. Couldn't be because Aunt Bess was dead. No. Okay? So, whatever happens on the web, in life, wherever, whatever is happening to you now, right now, is your strongest influence. Okay? It's matched against what's happening to you in the past. Okay? The only time the past really strongly affects people on the web is if they had a bad experience on your website. If there was a link that didn't work, if there was something that didn't load properly, that's a real bad problem. Chances are people will not come back. What marketers need at this point in time is for the audience to pull the desired information to them. Doesn't matter if the desired information is a specific menu item. Doesn't matter if the information is the type of car they want to buy, or a banner ad, or what have you. You need the audience to somehow give you enough information to have them pull what they want about your product, your service, whatever, to them. There are 3 little-known events missing from this timeline, and for most timelines covered in this subject. Event number 1. June 3rd, 1993, National Institutes of Science and Technology publishes a paper on different approaches to gathering usability data on the web. Wow. They explain the problems with the methods which existed then and which still exist today, and they propose their own solution. It's a brilliant solution. It's difficult to use, harder than heck to deploy, and nobody's really sure what the resulting data reveals, but boy, they collect a lot of data. It's tremendous. You attach a JavaScript to everything on the page. Everything on the page. Anybody here ever designed a web page? Imagine attaching a piece of JavaScript to everything that you've done on that web page. That really makes your browser happy, let me tell you. The JavaScript embeds different information in the server log, so the tracking data will now include everything that ever happened on the page. It's pure dead brilliant. But nobody knows what the data means. We collected a lot of it, and we know that this click over here was on this, and that click over there was on that. But so what? Well, we have the information now, and by golly, somewhere, somebody will figure out what to do with it. It's kind of like oil. Everybody knew there was oil underground, but nobody knew how to get to it. Eventually, somebody found a way to get to it. Right? So the people who knew how to get to the oil were able to buy up the leases for where the oil was, and boom. Now we're all driving cars, as opposed to horses still. So that's event number 1. Event number 2. Research on subtle cues which people give off when they're just being themselves. Something we talked about just a few moments ago. Body language. The ability, and this research also was on the ability of computer-based systems to recognize those cues and act upon them. It's the lead presentation paper. Lead presentation paper at International Institute for Advanced Studies in Systems Research and Cybernetics in Baden-Baden. Now, you all read that paper, of course, I know. It was on the front page of Time and Newsweek and everything else. You can tell I'm kidding, my lips are moving. Anyway, the full title of the paper is Can Autonomous Entities Act on Non-Conscious Meaning in Human Communication? Interesting title. Event number 3. That occurs a year later in 2002. Another paper detailing research on how computers can help people learn faster, how computers can help people remember what they learn better, how computers can help people find what they want to learn quicker, and how the information should change for each user so that they can use the information better. Is any of this beginning to fall into place? That paper gets published in the US, not too far away from here. The research in both cases is what's called symbiotic, cyber-symbiotic systems.
Again, you all saw this. It was in Time Magazine. I'm just kidding. Paper's title, A Model for an Interactive, Adaptive, Self-Optimizing Machine-Human Interface via Language and Mimetic Interfaces. You can all say, oh, get to the point. But this is my part of this presentation. I was the researcher, folks. You know, I told you the marketing guy and the sales guy aren't here. So, wait a second, though. A computer system that picks up on body language knows what it means and responds to it accordingly. How can a computer pick up on body language?
There's a little camera.
No.
Is that JavaScript's little cameras on the top of the body?
Think about it, folks. What's that?
Sensitive keyboard.
Yes. And sensitive mouse.
I was going to say timing of movement through your site.
Part of it? Yes. So it picks up on body language. It picks up on the subtleties of mouse movements, clicks on the keyboard, plus a whole lot of other stuff that we won't get into, but which is readily available simply by monitoring the interface. So it picks up body language, knows what it means and responds to it with an interactive interface. So the interface changes based on how the person's interacting with the interface. It adapts to the person using it. It self-optimizes. It learns as it goes. So it can decide what if it does for you. The interface it shows you. It might not work for me. And how should the interface be changed for me? The research involves some 9,000 subjects over 11 years of time and focused on how people respond to information online, how people behave online, how to get inside their heads online, and to use a euphemism from neuroscience and anthropology, how to read their mind. Okay? That's kind of impressive. And I'm not saying it because we did the research, but when you think about it, a computer interface that can pick up the subtleties of human communication, nonverbal communication, and respond to the minute body movements that we all do when we're online. Next time you have somebody online sitting around you, it doesn't have to be you. As a matter of fact, it's better if it's not you, because you'll be sitting there looking at yourself, what am I doing now? But next time you're around somebody who's online, and they don't like what they see online, okay? Let's go and get a mouse out here. Okay. See the green arrow? Everybody knows DC Comics, green arrow? Anyway, next time you're watching somebody online, if they happen to encounter something they don't like, you'll see the mouse. Well, come back here. Where's the mouse? You'll see the mouse go like this. No. Just as you would shake your head no in a conversation, you'll see the mouse very, very subtly. They're not going to go, no! Unless they're like a 2-year-old. No, I want it. However, they will very subtly go, no. No. And if they see something they like, they're not going to go yes, because that's not a natural movement for the hand. And what the technology is doing is picking up on what are called psychomotor behavioral cues. I know that's another word. Oh, thank God Joseph's the researcher. Where's the sales guy? He'll be here next time.
Promise.
By the way, for those of you who desperately want a copy of these two papers, you can see Susan. Give her your business card. They're really great reading. Yeah. Okay. Behavioral marketing is now the vogue. And behavioral marketing is pretty neat. It really is. Okay? The publisher can create a targeted advertising for an audience segment based on frequency and recency of visits to a particular section of a site. I'll be honest with you. I think the stuff that I write is easier to understand than that.